So how do you feel going back to record a Silverchair record? Is it like an old glove, or does it feel like you're starting all over again?
Yeah, it feels like a new glove actually. It feels really, really fresh. Everyone's really excited. I think it's more excited than anyone's ever been, even when. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't feel stale at all. Everyone in the camp is really excited, and the new songs sound really good, and the band, I think as a band we're playing better than we've ever played, so it feels really fresh, especially after the Dissociatives and Ben's Tambourine thing and Chris going and doing some production work. It feels like everyone's kind of learnt to appreciate what we've got, and whereas before I think we just used to take it for granted and think there's something better. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just try over there. Sorry.
That's alright. I don't know. Stay on the move. It's like a touring engine.
It's like an industrial estate tour of... Let's try this one. So I'm really interested to know how it feels for you, though. Silverchair kind of rests on you a little bit, and just that as the years go on, and I guess there's some expectation about you having to come up and deliver all the time, and how that actually feels as an artist to get the band back together and feel like I've got to come up with stuff for people.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm completely aware of the expectations, which is sometimes hard, but I don't know. Sometimes it really makes me write really horrible songs because I feel like I can never live up to what people expect. But sometimes I think it makes me do something better. I hope it does. I can't tell. I've got no perspective, but I'm definitely aware of the expectation constantly, which is a good and bad thing. But I think it's worked to my advantage this time, possibly.
Okay.
Just I think after, like, I kept feeling like there was more and more pressure with every album until we did Diorama, and then I went off and did the Dissociatives thing, and now it feels like more of an artistic pressure than a commercial pressure, so it's actually more fun to try and live up to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas before it felt like I had to keep coming up with, hits, and now it feels like I've got to come up with something good, so it's a better pressure.
Do you feel like you've progressed much as a songwriter over the years?
Yeah, I think I've progressed as a songwriter. I think I constantly go up and down. Like, some days I feel like I'm getting really good, and other days I feel like I'm just horrible. But I definitely feel like my vision's getting clearer. Like, yeah, I feel like there's more of on this record, I think it's a more cohesive. It's going to be a more cohesive piece of work, whereas the last records are I'm just trying to write lots of different kinds of songs to hopefully come up with something that I like.
Because it's a funny thing. I mean, your reputation as a songwriter amongst producers, even, I think it was Nick Launay, might have been, who was saying did he work on Diorama with you?
He worked on Neon Ballroom.
Neon Ballroom it was, yeah. And he was saying how he'd never really met an artist like you before who was able to sit down and would have this clarity of sound going through their head, and all the producer had to do was just try and get it out onto tape in some ways. I mean, it seems like you have been given an extraordinary gift.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I know that sounds like a slightly lofty thing to say in some ways, but you're dealing, a producer coming up with that kind of comment, somebody who works with really high-level musicians all the time, and is very clear about making that comment. Yeah. That it's something that I'm sure every songwriter would love to feel that they have. Yeah,
well, I've never considered myself a musician, which I think. I mean, it sounds really pretentious and wanky to say, but I see music more as art, and it's more painting. To me, it's more collages of sounds and sonics, and yeah, a song is more than a song to me. I don't sit down and write a song because I know the inversions of the chords and know how things work. I just, I come up with chords, I don't know the names of them, and just try and get it to sound how I want it. And usually when I'm writing a song, from the first chord of the first idea, I pretty much know how, production-wise, how I want to treat things and how this song should sound sonically and what instrumentation would complement the chords and what would make it too much and what would make it too something else, and what would, what's actually going to be there for a reason.
Do you feel like looking back on a career, you're still a young man and you've had this extraordinary career already, and looking back on it, do you feel like it is some sort of gift? Do you feel like you've been given an extraordinary lease that, millions would kind of die for?